So now that we have some asteroids on the screen and we know that we can collide with them and they can disappear or they can kill us off, the one thing that we do not have is any sort of explosion or visual damage indicators, if you will. And we've talked about and set up the ability to provide just that with textures, where a texture can flicker back and forth between a brightened color and its regular textured color. And that is something that we're going to get set up in the next video, as well as explosions, so that when we destroy an asteroid, instead of it just disappearing, it can actually explode. And while it's taking damage, it can flicker back and forth between white and its normal color.
And to be perfectly clear on that, the whole idea of the effects are actually in two parts. We have the damage flicker itself, which is just the modification of the texture, and we also have an explosion effect, which happens externally to the damaged game node.
That's right.
And we're going to address both of these in the upcoming video.
Okay.
But before we get into that video, I do want to give a quick rundown on what each system is and how it's going to be used. The first system we'll be taking a look at is how do we go about using that damage flicker inside of our game nodes. Now you will of course remember that back in the sprite class and sprite sheet we have the necessary functionality to give a damaged version of any texture of any of our game nodes. And we even explored how that worked when we had originally created sprite. We actually went in, made a temporary sprite, and flipped back and forth between its normal texture and its damaged texture. Now we've had that ready and waiting, we just haven't hooked it up into an actual game node. Now that we have the concept of game nodes, and we have damageable asteroids and ships on the screen, now would be a good time to put this into effect. The way the damage flicker effect will be used is it will be controlled from the game node class. Game node is going to, I guess you could say toggle, is going to enable the damage texture whenever take damage occurs. Meaning inside of the take damage method, we're actually going to add a little bit extra to that if block, because of course take damage, its main decision is to decide whether or not this node has been removed.
Right.
If it has taken damage and not been removed, then it will show the damage effect. It'll flicker the texture over to the damage version, and it needs to flicker it for just a short amount of time. And that means we need to flip over to the texture, begin tracking time. When an amount of time elapses, set the texture back to the normal texture. And this will be accomplished with a timer. So inside of game node, we'll create what we're going to call a hit timer. Just a simple timer which can be enabled when we switch over to damage version of the texture. And when that timer elapses, we'll set our texture back to normal and disable the timer because it's only needed for one time elapse. And really, it's basically that simple. Just setting up the flicker enabled from take damage. We wait for the timer disables it, and we're back to normal. That's the cycle of the damage flicker. Now, the other system we're going to be taking a look at is a way in which we can cause an explosion effect on screen. This is quite a bit different than the flicker effect because the flicker is applied to a game node that has not yet been destroyed. An explosion is an effect that plays after the game node has been destroyed and is no longer visible on screen. That means an explosion needs to be external to the game node itself. As a matter of fact, the explosion is going to utilize a separate node. As a matter of fact, a brand new node that we're going to need to create in the upcoming video. As we can see on the whiteboard, the way we're going to create this is we're going to have this effect node directly extend from node. The reason that we're going to do this is because it is simply for an effect. Its job is to be able to play out a sprite animation on screen and then go away after the animation finishes. That means we don't need things like collision, we don't need it to play its own damage effect. It more or less is a damage effect in and of itself, so we're going to directly extend node. Then inside of this effect node class, the idea is and the reason we're calling this effect node is to keep it relatively general. We're primarily using this for explosions, but there's no reason this couldn't be used for anything that uses one complete loop of a sprite's animation to cause some on-screen effect. Now when I say only one loop of a sprite's animation, what I mean there is we will have the effect node automatically set itself up. As a matter of fact, it will subscribe to its own sprite's loop event. The reason it does that is so that it can listen out for when the animation ends. It will take that loop event as an indicator that the animation is completely finished. Once that happens, it will remove itself from the game. And in that way, we have an explosion that begins, plays out its animation, and then goes away when it's done. You can actually look at this as almost animation-driven timing, because now we've got a scenario where a span of time will pass before the effect node is removed, but that span of time is determined by the length it takes to play out an animation. Now, really, this will be very simple to hook up, because all it requires is that we, upon creation of ourselves inside of an effect node, look for a sprite's loop event, and then if that loop event occurs, simply remove ourselves. And that's really all it requires. The only thing that will be left when we have effect node in place is to make sure that inside of game node, whenever a game node is destroyed, so we'll probably go in and take one final look at take damage so that we can add in a call to, spawn visual explosion. So that way a dying node will cause an explosion to be spawned. So it'll get taken out, and then an explosion will appear right over where it was. We see the explosion play out, and then that's the end of the game node. So I think those two topics are really the key goal of the upcoming video. Now that we've got an idea of what it is we need to tackle, then I think we're ready to get started.
I think so. And with that, that's going to wrap up this overview. Thanks.